Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel F1 with Shikhar. We are back live for week 2, day 1 of Formula 1 pre-season testing in Bahrain. And the best thing is the whole broadcast is back now. Formula 1 is going to be broadcasting the whole 3 days for the fans, which wasn't the common sense the last week. Not sure why, but it is what it is now. We are back live, and the session is about to begin. Let me know where you are joining from. If you are new to this channel, let's hit that subscribe button, because as you can see, I'm bringing the whole live telemetry for you guys, and the complete data and updates from day 1. Honestly, Bernie Collins is such a gem. I feel like if F1 broadcast didn't have her on their team, we would miss out on a lot of amazing analysis and insights, what the other sort of crew members seem to miss out or overlook sometimes. But yeah, Bernie's a genius, to be honest. There's a reason she was the chief strategic engineer at Aston Martin a few years ago. Yeah. It is a bad start for Aston Martin. Dude, can we just start, honestly? Just gonna create this poll in the chat. There we go. Kimi and Lando are doing a practice launch. So Kimi had to spool his engine for quite a bit there. There we go, Lando. About 10 seconds or so, I would say. There we go. That's the active aero on display on the Ferrari of Charles. That's actually true. I mean, there's so much judgment already before the season has even started. Like, all the drivers are pretty critical of the new regulations. Um, the fans are obviously echoing the drivers' thoughts. But let's just wait until Melbourne. You know what I mean? Yeah. Hmm. According to Crofty, Lando spooled his turbo for about 8.5 seconds. Um, like, that's the amount of time he kept the revs high on the car, on the engine, for the turbo spool to work. Obviously, Isaac is out on the track for Red Bull. The track map is not working for some reason. Let me just quickly refresh it. Not sure why it's not working. Settings. Yeah, that's what Crofty is saying as well. Like, if we get to Melbourne and the racing is not good, not great, then yeah, fair enough. Like, not sure why the track map is not showing the drivers. Let me re-add it. Bring it back here. I mean, not sure. Let's follow Norris. See what's he doing. Yeah, I'm not sure the telemetry is working correctly. Apologies for that. I mean, it's not my website, so I'm just gonna sit down. Apologies for that. Thanks for bearing with me. I had to sit down. It was a bit tiring standing up like that. Oh, that's a big lockup for our Vidlin blood. Huge lockup for our Vidlin blood heading into turn one. Obviously, there's a huge runoff area. I might make this a bit smaller. Bring this here. And make this a bit bigger. So that you guys have a good sort of idea what's going on. So nice to see Checo Perez back on the grid. Feel like his departure from Red Bull was a bit, I mean, I wouldn't say it wasn't justified because his performances were quite poor. Max clearly showed that the car, I mean, obviously Max was overdriving the car, dragging it to race wins and podiums and whatnot. But I mean, Checo's performances were bad, let's be honest, and his sort of sacking was justified at the end. But I feel like the way Red Bull handled it was a bit poor in a way. So I'm pretty happy to see Checo back on the grid because I think he deserves a better farewell from the sport. Um, he's been one of the veterans of the sport. Amazing driver, obviously. Helped Verstappen win that famous 2021 championship by defending Lewis Hamilton. Very interesting rear wing flap configuration on the Alpine. Is he on the new C6, the ultra soft? Because he's well over a second quicker than Norris right now. Oh, yeah, yep, front right. Just snatched while he was turning in the braking zone. Been an interesting couple of weeks for me, to be honest. Bit exhausting. I haven't put out any videos recently, unfortunately. Heading to India day after tomorrow, which is Friday. I've got an early morning flight, and I've been just so busy in shopping, packing, preparing for my trip to India because it's my elder brother's wedding, and yeah, just been super hectic last week or sort of 10 days, which is why I haven't been able to put out any videos. Literally couldn't get any time to record or to edit or yeah, but I thought today I was just because my packing is done for the trip, like the checked luggage, the cabin luggage, it's pretty much done. Just a couple of small essentials remaining, and which obviously I will take care of tomorrow. But yeah, just sort of thought I will just sit down today, watch the first session, the morning session of testing, live stream for you guys, and yeah, here we are. If you're seeing these bollards for the first time on your screen, OT or SM, it's essentially OT stands for overtake mode. Um, if you're within a second of the driver ahead and you cross the OT bollard or the overtake bollard, you're allowed to use the extra energy from your battery pack, extra 500 joules of energy. And SM is essentially straight mode, which means you're opening your front and the rear wing flaps. You're using the active aero on your car on the SM which is a straight mode on the track. So that's a key difference you'll see on the track this year. The DRS bollards are obviously gone because DRS is no longer here. You instead have the OT bollards, which is the overtake mode or zone, whatever you want to call it, and SM, which is the straight mode. Yeah, Crofty just said it then. Forget DRS. Um, do not correlate it with the active arrow, even though active arrow is essentially doing what DRS used to be. But SM straight mode is active arrow. That's when you'll see the rear flap and the front flap of the car move on every straight, off every lap. Every driver will have it no matter where they are on the track. And the OT mode is the overtake mode, which is essentially the DRS for the 2020-26 season. You won't see, you won't, because you can use the OT mode essentially anywhere on the track. You don't need to be on a straight to use overtake mode. You can use it into the corners, out of the corners. That's why it's really essential for the drivers to, adapt what they want to do with the battery. Um, where do they want to deploy the energy? So yeah, the driver who finds the most optimal way of deploying the energy, that's where the buck is, that's where the money is. That's another locker for Pierre Gasly into turn one. Front right again. That's very well explained by Anthony Davidson. He's another one along with Bernie Collins that I find really, really helpful um, when you sort of have to get to know about something really technical. Yeah, race starts are going to be really interesting this year. Yep. It's gonna get rid of the track map. Not sure why it's not working, but it is what it is. This isn't working either. Guys, I'm not sure why the track map isn't working. I'm sorry for that. It's very weird as to why it's not working. It's only showing you the track and the corners, but not the drivers on the track itself. Gone into settings. Select focus drivers all. Top left, top right, bottom left, and close. Yep. Not sure why it's not working. Sorry for that. Might quickly do one thing. I'm just gonna remove myself. Yep. Because I want to do one thing. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Let me have a look if this is working. Okay. Sorry guys, just bear with me. I'm trying to do something here. Copy. right now. I just hate Instagram, honestly. Okay, I have done what I need to do. Hopefully it works out. I'm gonna re-add the camera feed. Just bear with me. Video capture, okay. Okay, just gonna fix it. You can probably see the packing that I have done. You can probably see my luggages. No, that is very terrible. What am I doing? Make this smaller. And that's a bit better. I hope that's a bit better. I don't even know what Crofty is talking about here. Kimi Antonelli currently topping the time, 1:34.4. Obviously, that's slower than last week, but I don't think we'll see much representative times in this particular session. It's just too complex, honestly. They have to keep explaining it all the time. That's why Max was quite critical of these regulations because he thinks it's not really the right direction that Formula One is heading towards. It should be about racing rather than focusing on, you know, energy management, energy regen. Oh, locker for Charles. Oh, that's a nice camera angle. They have a drone on the track. That's a really nice camera angle. Would love to see that more during this season. What do you think about the tire compound graphic this season? I'm not sure if it's just for testing or it's for the whole season, but they're mentioning the compound type instead of, soft, medium, hard. Obviously, they're doing the color coding with it, like C2 hard, C3 medium, and they're depicted by yellow and hard. But it's it's a bit weird because someone would look at it and go like, "Oh, what the heck is C3, C2, C4, C5?" But I think they're going down this direction for in terms of the tire graphics for this year. They've literally been explaining the new overtake mode and straight mode for the last 20-25 minutes. It's so complex. I mean, I kind of get that they have to explain it to the viewers, but it's just so sort of difficult for someone new to the sport. Oh, big slide for Alex Albon. Leclerc pops in a 1:33.7. That's a good time. Yep, he is on the prototype tire currently. I agree. They do look like Formula One cars. Smaller, narrower, more nimble on the front. Huge lock up for Lando Norris. Third driver to lock up heading into turn one, unable to keep it on track. Definitely a watch. Damn, almost an hour done for the first session of the morning. Output. Let's see. Let's apply that. That's it. Okay. I don't know. Has the quality gone up or down? I've just changed the current bit rate of the stream. Not sure. Let me know in the comment if the quality has changed. Just changed it. Damn, listen to that Audi engine. Oh, anti-stall. So yeah, Hulkenberg tried a practice start and he couldn't launch there. Even though he had his engine revs where they needed to be, but he couldn't get off the line. Imagine come Melbourne, 22 drivers on the grid and half of them just can't get away from the line. That'll be absolutely chaotic and insane to watch. They should have it covered though. I mean, the amount of ingenious in the sport, the engineers should have it covered. They should figure out a way for the engines to not stall off the start line. But it's only 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks away. We'll find out in Melbourne. Something's. Oh, it's the rain light of the back of Aston Martin hanging by a wire. Is it? No, that's like a sensor or something coming out of the hanging out of the back of Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso. How good does the horse look? They definitely got the best livery on the grid this year. Yeah. Yeah, Crofty was just talking a bunch of nonsense there, and Ant had to correct him that it's the power from the battery that's 350 kilowatt, not the actual battery. Oh, that's a small slide for Lando. Got it well. There's so much talk of electrical power going on right now between Ant and Crofty that it is insane. Like, wow. They're bringing all sort of examples, a kettle, a toaster, an electric car. Okay, so basically what Ant said there is that all the cars, the amount of energy that they will regenerate in the race at Bahrain, later this year will be the equal of energy that an electric car requires for its battery to get charged completely from 0 to 100 completely twice. That's the amount of energy that these F1 cars will regenerate in the race in Bahrain come April. I think it's in April. Because Jeff Dodds, who's the CEO of Formula E, he said to the media yesterday, not yesterday, a few days ago, that he texted Max Verstappen after his comments about Formula One being Formula E on steroids this year, and he basically said to Max that you're in Bahrain, I'm in Jeddah. If you fancy coming here for the Formula E, I'll come and get you. Very interesting and very funny. I'll do another hour of this, guys, and then I have to head off. Because there's still some stuff I need to get done before I leave for India Friday morning. So you have to bear with me for another hour. If you can't, then you shouldn't. I do think Red Bull's engine sounds pretty good as well, along with Audi. And I feel they've done a pretty good job on building their engine as well, considering it's their first year. Yeah, I think Red Bull Powertrains and Ford, they have done a pretty strong job. Crofty is trying so hard right now to defend these regulations. I mean, I get it, to be fair. We haven't even started the season. We haven't even seen these cars race each other in Melbourne on 8th of March, but I mean, he's been going on at it since the last hour. Yeah. Come on, YouTube. Make my live reach to the right audience, to the right people that watch Formula One, that follow Formula One. Sergio Perez hasn't come out yet. Tomorrow. Max will be in all day tomorrow. Yeah, I think Cadillac couldn't have gone for any better driver combo this year. Checo Perez and Valtteri Bottas, those are as experienced drivers you will find for your first year in the sport. I completely agree with their team principal, Graham. Yeah. We're not even halfway through the first session, and Aston Martin is literally falling apart on the track. Like there's sensors falling off, bits and pieces falling off of the car. They need to get their act together, man. Audi ruined their livery. Like what they showed us for the when they teased the car first, that livery was absolute banger, and the one they actually launched is it's meh. I mean, it's okay, but the previous one, the first one that they launched, that was pretty sick. For those who don't know, Joe Guan Yu is the reserve driver for Cadillac. In case Checo or Valtteri have to miss a weekend, which obviously it's very, very unlikely. It only happens due to some extreme circumstances. Joe Guan Yu will be the one who fills in for Cadillac. Bit wide. Didn't have the grip Charles was expecting going into that corner, couldn't hit the apex, and ran wide. That's how easy it is to lose grip in Formula One cars if your tires are not up to the temperature. Oh, huge slide. My mate's wondering where I am, why I'm not in the gym, and I have to explain it to him. It is a slow lap for Leclerc. Jolyon was waiting on at turn 12, but Charles was on a regen lap. It's taking a really wide line into turn 12. Kimi Antonelli. So complicated. So complicated. Apparently, there are some corners that you can't, um, you're not allowed to use the full power from the battery pack. Yeah, it's just so complicated, man. Feels like a competition between teams and drivers' brains instead of their racing ability on the track. It feels more strategic instead of obviously the talent will always be on display with Formula 1 drivers, but it's like there are going to be so many strategic decisions going through their head along with the teams on the pit wall, telling them, guiding them throughout the lap. That's not a replay. I mean, I don't know why it's saying it's a replay. That's an onboard for Norris of this lap. Yeah, very interesting explanation there by Anthony Davidson. Says he's essentially saying that drivers wouldn't be certain of how much power they are getting out of corners on, like, it could be different for each and every corner on each and every lap. Like on one lap out of, let's say, turn 2, you'd be getting the maximum power. um on the next lap you wouldn't be getting half as much. So that's the uncertainty that's coming into account this year. Yeah, right on, Crofty, right on. I didn't put Honda in the poll, by the way, because we all already know we are Honda's cooked for the season. They are cooked. They haven't cooked. Unfortunately, they are cooked. They are cooked. It's kind of cold here in Melbourne today. I don't know why. Yeah, as Bernie said, their Alpine engineers are trying to change the ride height, the front ride height of Pierre Gasly's car by adjusting the pull rod suspension. Oh, that's a massive slide for Alonso. Lost the rear of his car there. I'm surprised Matt and Tommy aren't live today for the watch along, or they'll be doing the final final hour. That's it. Interesting. I love how the camera pans to a Formula One car going slowly, and that slowly means 120, 130 kilometers an hour. That's just insane. And like you would see that on the TV, um, and you would feel like, wow, that is so slow. But when you're driving an actual car, like a road car, and you're going 120, it is fast. It is very fast. Fernando's just sliding out of the final corner out of frustration. Oh, Hulkenberg going off the track then. Right on, guys. That is kind of it for today. Um, Obviously, I know it's not ideal, but I've got apologies for that. I've got to head off for the day because I have a flight to catch day after tomorrow, and I've still got some things to sort out for that. So, apologies if you were watching along, if you were following along. I do have to head out a bit early today. Um, I won't be able to I won't be able to do a stream tomorrow as well because obviously I will be busy sort of figuring out the final bits and pieces before I head off day after tomorrow. And yeah, I will see you someday next week, hopefully. Um, when I'm in India, hopefully I get I get some time to put out a few videos. I'm not sure how much time I will get there because I have so much to do once I get there. so much to prepare for the wedding because it's my elder brother's wedding, and I just don't think I would have the time for that, but we will find out. So yeah, that is it for today. Thank you so much if you guys joined in, if you guys tuned in for today's short stream. Only a couple of hours, but I do have to head off and get some things sorted out. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining in. If you are new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure you are subscribed, make sure you are followed, so that you don't miss out on any content that will be coming out sooner rather than later. So yeah, good night. Thank you so much once again.